I want you to think about something that most of us probably spend a lot of energy trying to avoid thinking about: getting older.
Yeah, it's not exactly a fun topic for most people.
Right. I mean, if we are being completely honest, a huge portion of the population lives in this state of near panic about aging. We look in the mirror searching for new wrinkles, or we feel a sudden ache in a knee or a shoulder, and we just instinctively assume it is the beginning of an inevitable, miserable decline.
Absolutely, it's this built-in dread we have.
But nature actually demonstrates something entirely different every single day. Yes, everything that is born must die. That is the fundamental law of life. But that biological reality does not mean that aging and death have to be accompanied by fear, drama, suffering, or chronic disease.
Right, the decline doesn't have to be this prolonged, painful thing.
Exactly. Our bodies are capable of remaining strong, vital, and functional right up until the very end. The exit from life does not need to be painful, prolonged, or pathological.
It is a really profound shift in perspective when you internalize that. Because, scientists have spent decades and pharmaceutical companies have poured literal billions upon billions of dollars into laboratories, searching for the hidden causes of aging.
Oh, the endless hunt for the magic pill.
Exactly. They are searching for molecules that could slow it down, stop it, or even reverse it. But what if the vast majority of modern illness, accelerated aging, frailty, and that terror of growing old is actually sitting right in front of us on our plates?
And that question is exactly what drives our mission for today's deep dive. We are exploring a massive fundamental paradigm shift today. We're going to look at why the real cause of most age-related disease isn't time itself. It is the cumulative mismatch between what we eat and what our biology was designed to receive.
It's a completely different way to look at nutrition.
It really is. And to do this, we are pulling from a fascinating stack of sources today. First, we have a comprehensive framework document titled Food as a Biological Signal.
The core theme we're extracting from these sources today completely rewrites the traditional rules. For a long time, food has just been seen as metabolic fuel. Calories in, calories out.
The old math equation.
Right. But food is not merely fuel, it is a biological program. It's a daily set of instructions that either tunes your body toward health, resilience, and graceful aging, or it quietly programs it for breakdown, inflammation, and premature decline.
So to you listening right now, by the end of this deep dive, you are going to look at every meal not as a calorie count, but as an investment in your future vitality. Or, unfortunately, a loan your body must eventually repay. Okay, let's unpack this, because for decades, we've viewed the body as a combustion engine.
Yeah, the old furnace model.
Exactly. Throw food in the furnace, burn it for energy, store the excess. But our sources argue that this is, frankly, completely inadequate for understanding human health.
It's severely outdated. The new biophysical paradigm says the body is not a dumb engine. It's a highly adaptive system governed by intricate regulatory networks. Living systems maintain their order by managing what physicists call stochastic noise.
Which is basically random biological errors and chaos.
Exactly. And food provides critical instructions across 4 distinct regulatory layers to manage that noise.
I really want to break those 4 layers down for the listener. Let's start with the first one. The sources call it the electrical layer. Are we saying that the food on my fork actually has an electrical impact on my body?
In a very literal sense, yes. The food you digest influences endogenous electric fields within your tissues. It affects your ion channels and shifts the membrane potentials of your cells.
Wow.
Yeah, these electrical gradients are what govern how your tissues organize themselves. Then you have the second layer, the metabolic layer. This is where food shapes your mitochondrial efficiency.
So that's kind of like managing the efficiency of the power plant itself.
Precisely. And the third one is the inflammatory layer. Your diet directly modulates your background immune tone. It tells your immune system whether it should be in a calm state of repair or a hyperactive state of chronic degradation.
Setting the stage for repair versus warfare, basically.
Right. And finally, the informational layer. Food interacts directly with your epigenetic markers. It provides chemical tags that turn certain genes on and off.
It is wild to think about a simple piece of broccoli operating on an electrical and epigenetic level. Which brings us to a crucial concept in the framework, food coherence.
Food coherence is how we evaluate this. High-fidelity, coherent food maintains system stability across all 4 of those layers. It supports clean biological filtration, optimizes mitochondria, and establishes a calm immune tone.
But incoherent food introduces regulatory stress. It creates massive signaling conflict, which the sources refer to as biological noise. So basically, every meal you eat is literally a daily software update for your genome.
That's the perfect way to phrase it. And if you are downloading corrupted software every single day, eventually the operating system is going to crash.
And that system crash is what we traditionally call aging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In this model, aging is not just the passive passage of time. It is the measurable accumulation of unrepaired genetic typos. We're talking about DNA lesions and replication stress that slowly compromise your somatic genome.
That's the DNA in your non-reproductive cells. But how does the body actually know things are breaking down? Is there a physical sign of these typos?
There is. The researchers highlight a biophysical marker called RNA polymerase stalling.
Okay, what exactly is RNA polymerase doing?
Think of it as a tiny machine running along the track of your DNA, reading the code to build proteins. But as you accumulate DNA damage from incoherent food, the track gets damaged. The reading machine hits a pothole and stalls out.
And because some genes are physically longer than others, they take more time to read, meaning they have a higher chance of containing one of these potholes.
You've got it. This creates what they call a length-associated transcriptome imbalance. The delicate blueprint for your cell gets structurally disrupted.
The fallout from that is huge. The sources outline 3 primary consequences of these unrepaired errors. First is somatic mutations, which drastically elevates the risk of oncogenesis.
Cancer.
Right. And second, you get cellular senescence.
The zombie cells.
Zombie cells, yeah. Cells that suffer so much damage they permanently stop dividing, but they refuse to die. They just sit there remaining metabolically active.
Which leads to the third consequence, systemic inflammaging. Because these zombie cells start secreting pro-inflammatory cytokines, degrading the healthy tissue around them.
What's fascinating here is that these systems fail because the debt of poor signaling accumulates too high. When resources are drained and never replenished, one organ pathway after another collapses.
It's not the ticking clock, it's the unpaid biological debt. But we do have a defense system, right? The sources talk about a repair crew, the sirtuins. Yes, the sirtuin family. Specifically, SIRT1, SIRT6, and SIRT7. They are the guardians of your genome. SIRT1 regulates UV repair and preps the tools.
SIRT6 is the first responder to double-strand breaks, right?
Exactly. And SIRT7 promotes a process called non-homologous end joining, basically gluing broken DNA ends back together.
Okay, so if we have this elite team of microscopic mechanics on call 247, why do we need to worry about what we eat? Shouldn't they just fix it?
That is the big catch. These sirtuins are heavily dependent on a specific coenzyme called NAD+ suitin. You can think of NAD+ as the fuel supply for the repair crew.
And dietary coherence determines that fuel supply.
Right. Precursors like nicotinamide riboside in your diet dictate your NAD+ levels. If your food signals are coherent, the crew is fully funded and working.
But if they're incoherent, the repair crew is benched. Here's where it gets really interesting. We have to talk about the primary culprit behind this incoherent signaling: ultra-processed foods. The sources call it the sausage matrix.
It is a terrifying but very accurate term. We aren't just talking about sugar and fat. We are talking about highly reactive chemical structures engineered with emulsifiers to deliberately bypass the body's primary filtration.
A Trojan horse. It breaks the gut barrier, overwhelms the liver, and causes massive transcription stress.
Which is exactly what causes the RNA polymerase stalling we just talked about. The sausage matrix depletes the NAD+ needed for repair while simultaneously flooding the system with chemical noise.
It's a devastating double whammy.
Right.
So the coherence of your daily food doesn't just dictate your own aging, it impacts the evolutionary integrity of the next generation. So what does this all mean? How does the listener change the trajectory of their health span today?
The framework provides 3 pillars of coherence. Pillar 1, support the repair crew. Prioritize dietary inputs that maintain NAD+ levels to keep sirtuins active.
Give them the fuel they need. Pillar 2, reduce regulatory noise.
Avoid the sausage matrix. Avoid those ultra-processed foods to prevent systemic inflammaging and stop the creation of zombie cells.
And Pillar 3 syncs the signal. Align your food intake with circadian rhythms.
This is critical. Syncing metabolic signals with sleep ensures you aren't interrupting high-capacity DNA repair windows in tissues like the brain and heart.
You don't want to send a massive metabolic instruction from a late-night meal that forces the repair crew to drop their tools and deal with the incoming fuel instead.
Exactly. It's about maximizing the signal-to-noise ratio in your biology.
The real cause of most age-related disease isn't the simple passage of time. It's the cumulative mismatch between what we eat and what our biology was designed to receive. Change the program on your plate and you change the trajectory of your health span.
You choose coherence over noise.
You dictate the pace of your own biological clock, ensuring the journey to the end of life is dignified, not pathological.
It's incredibly empowering. But before we wrap up today, I want to leave everyone with a final, lingering question to ponder. We learned that biology evolved the dream complex to purposefully repress somatic DNA repair, prioritizing the immortal germline over the mortal body.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. As you head out into your day, we hope you take a moment to really think about the daily software update you are downloading during your next meal. Make it a good one.